running to donate a lot of her items to multiple different donation areas across the island because you just don't want to throw somebody's life away. I wanted to help ease that transition for her, and care, patience, and understanding is really what makes it different.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome to The Closing Table podcast. I am your host, Kevin C. McIntosh. Are you ready to learn? We're about to pick the brain of another real estate professional in a very unique market, by the way. We want to welcome Jessica Hoyt to The Closing Table. How you doing, Jessica?
I'm great. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me today.
And thank you for accepting our invitation to be here today,
My
Jessica.
pleasure.
We appreciate that. So I want to talk to Jessica, the person, before we talk to Jessica, the real estate agent, if you don't mind, right? We're going to put the real estate agent to the side. So talk to me, Jessica, the person. Who are you outside of real estate?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Well, as you said, my name is Jessica Hoyt. I actually am originally from the Midwest, and I was born and raised in Des Moines, Iowa. I have been living in Hawaii for over a decade. So the story on how I even got here is kind of funny, but I am a travel lover. I love new adventures. I love meeting new people. And so in my mid-20s, me and my younger brother, on a whim, just decided to take an adventure, move to Hawaii, 2 suitcases in hand, and we had never even visited the island before. Long story short, I never left. The rest is history, and almost 13 years later, I am now a military wife. My husband is a chief in the United States Navy. He works on nuclear submarines. And outside of my family, I am a nature lover, so Hawaii is quite fitting for me. I love the Lord, always first. Total foodie.
There you go.
And I love all things home, design, and Amazon finds.
That's so funny. That was a handful, first and foremost. Military. Hold on. You said so much. I got to kind of break this down a little bit. First and foremost, you just moved to Hawaii with suitcases, no real plan.
Nothing.
But it worked out.
Here I am.
That's crazy.
To tell the story.
I feel like that was just the American dream right there. You just let's go to paradise. Let's figure it out. You figured it out. Now you're a military wife, beautiful family. I would assume you have a nice home in a beautiful place. That is a very, very great story. They should make a movie on that. But
still surprises myself sometimes.
I just recently had a guest on who said they were a foodie, but they say they are kind of a picky eater. Can you be a foodie if you are a picky eater?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say no, because there's just so many different types of cuisine. And when you really want to have that exploratory palate, for lack of better words, I think you need to be open to trying new things.
Yeah. No, I'm a very picky eater myself, too. So that's not to say anything about the other guests, but I like what I like. Give me the chicken fingers and fries, even at the seafood restaurant. I don't care. But,
Yep.
But I like that. So thanks for painting that picture as to who you are as a human being, as a person, before we talk about the business. So let's get into the business now. Everybody has their own different style, their different systems, how they do things. Please take some time to describe your real estate business.
Sure. So I've been licensed full-time since 2017. I am licensed on all 4 islands in the state of Hawaii, but I primarily serve the entire island of Oahu. One of the most beautiful things that I love about being a realtor in Hawaii is the diversity of the type of clients that I have the opportunity to serve. But, as an active duty military wife, I do serve a lot of our active duty military members, our veterans, and their families. It's a beautiful thing. I love my job. My clients become my friends, and it's been really a wonderful thing for me.
Beautiful. Love the way it's obviously working for you. And let me start here. Kudos to you. I gotta also say salute to you in your service. You're serving the people that serve us, which is a big responsibility, by the way. I don't want to let that slide slide underneath that. So thank you for your service, for servicing the people that service us,
Always.
which it's a big thing. So I just want to put that out there. But good, I'm glad you found a niche. I'm glad you're finding military veterans and people in our military, getting them homes and other clients too. Beautiful state of Hawaii. So let's talk about what people really want to know. What's the economic real estate data like there? What are the homes going for? What are the average days on market? Just please get into some of the details.
Sure. I think the most important thing to understand when you're talking about Hawaii versus the rest of the mainland is that we lack land. We are a
Mm-hmm.
small island. Our land is very, very precious. And because we have no land to build on, we tend to lack inventory. So, because of that, it's not unlikely in any market that you're going to see homes selling above the asking price. And this is especially true for well established neighborhoods. It's no secret that over the last year, we saw this huge increase in interest rates, especially coming out of a COVID market. But just like the rest of the mainland, our market did slow down. We did start to see some price adjustments. I think statistically, something like 27% island wide in a
Mm-hmm.
decrease. However, now that we're in this beautiful new year, 2024, mid December, those rates started coming down. The market is picking up again. And I can speak from personal
Yep.
experience that the last several offers I wrote my clients, they were indeed competing. Um,
Nice,
and I
nice.
didn't even answer
That's
your
good.
question. the
Oh,
the
go ahead. No,
median
you good.
yeah, thanks. The median price point right now is around 1 million island wide for a single family home. But that's actually low compared to certain well established neighborhoods, really neighborhood property type specific. And then our condos are around 510,000.
Yep, yep. I saw that too. After doing a little bit of research on the market, because that's one of the places I would love to visit. I just started to get curious. What are things going for? And yeah, I saw 900 plus thousand for homes, 500, 550, $600,000 for one bedroom condo. Said that. I said, God.
I will take you
But then
around
I thought, man,
myself.
that's Hawaii.
I would love to
Yeah,
show you
but
the
I'm just
island.
thinking like it's Hawaii though. Like I will. I'll live in the closet. Give me the closet with the window. I will live in there as long as I can say I can go to Hawaii. I got a place to sleep in Hawaii. I probably sleep outside. I'm I'm talking crazy now, but that's just what I think of Hawaii. Like I feel like people in the mainlands who've never been there just look at it as this great sunshiny paradise. You can go there, beaches everywhere. It's always great sunshine and smiley faces. That's just my interpretation of it. I've never been there.
Yeah, your
So,
interpretation is
but the homes are
yeah.
pricey.
Your interpretation is correct. I mean, we don't really check the weather because we're 85 and sunny with sun emojis, across our weather report, but we do check the
Oh,
surf report more often than not.
I'm so jealous. She said we don't even check the weather. It's 85. She got a picture of the sun with sunglasses, smiling on all the weather
All
forecasts.
7 days.
Man, going through literally snow and freezing temperatures right now. That's all that we want right now. Beautiful, beautiful. Which also explains why the prices are so high. You're paying for the environment, so I get it.
Yeah.
Your experience and background also includes being very tech savvy.
Yes.
I want to know about this to see if you've had to use some of that knowledge in one of your transactions. Nowadays, we have smart doors, smart phones, smart lights, smart windows. Do you have any situation where you helped a client incorporate some technology into their home or maybe gave them some advice in regards to some technology?
So, I mean, most of our neighborhoods that are well established were built kind of around the 70s, but some of our
Mm-hmm.
new constructions and our new developments, they're smart homes. And so you can even have an app on your phone that can control the door locks, all the lights, your speakers, your AC
Mm-hmm.
controls. I think it's no secret that we're a very tech forward society. And I think it's important to keep up with the tools and innovations that are just being come out so that we can really provide the best service for our clients. That goes for AI. It's becoming a huge thing right now. I use AI personally in my marketing. I harness the power of global communities to build referral networks. I've been able to find properties offline and off market just because of my global networks that I build through this platform of technology that we didn't really have many
Yep.
years ago. My reach for the listings is a lot greater, and I love technology.
Yes. Yeah. It's one of those love-hate relationships. For me personally, I'd say it's two things that will make my blood itch: traffic and slow internet. I either one. So that's the one thing about the internet and technology that I don't like. But when it's working good and it's doing its purpose, making everything more convenient, streamlined, perfect. I love it. I'm an advocate for it. So nowadays it's being incorporated in everything.
Yeah,
We're going to see a lot more smart homes, a lot more smart homes. Even the fact that you said most homes in Hawaii have been built in the 70s, I could still see some people finding ways to incorporate newer technology, newer features into these homes. Obviously it's going to have a more traditional or old school type of foundation, but that doesn't mean you can't incorporate newer, more modern features on the inside also.
for sure. I mean, even our security is kind of being backed by technology these days, and people are securing their homes
Yeah.
through videos and rings. And we're a little behind, I think, the times of the mainland, but we're getting there.
Okay. Yeah, and I can understand that too with the way things happen in regards to logistics and supply chain. But since we talked about advocating very briefly, how about a client that you helped and they were so happy with the results that you got them? Maybe you went above and beyond their expectations to the fact where they actually advocate for you, having positive referrals, which I saw that you have a lot of. That is really what's going to drive your business. Those positive word of mouth, that'll streamline your success more than anything. But do you have any situation where you helped a client achieve a goal and maybe they went out and told any and everybody and got you like a good portion of new business?
Yes, I mean, I actually have several of those stories. But
Ooh,
my
please.
biggest real estate achievement, it's easy sometimes to be featured in like a magazine. If you do well in the community, it's easy to gain a designation, to expand your personal education. But for me, my biggest and greatest real estate achievement has been the ability to empower people that thought that they could never own a home before. I spent many, many
Yeah.
years of my career educating first time home buyers and really helping them plan and put them on their path of success to financial freedom. There's really nothing more rewarding than helping those type of people than your average investor with a lot of means to do so. And I find that it's those type of people that I help that truly have an appreciation for the successful results, and they tend to refer me to all of their friends. My clients, I want them to feel informed about the process. Education has always been something that I have focused on in my business. For me, it's about relationships and it's about education. I don't want people to ever come to me and think that they're just doing what I tell them to do. I take the time to educate and I want them to be informed about all processes. I want them to feel like I'm helping them as if they're my best friend or my brother. So, because of that white glove service at every price point, that really enables me to build those positive referrals. And in fact, you know, I've been nominated for the Aloha Aina Realtor Award every year by multiple clients since I started my business, which comes from
There you
their
go.
experiences, their positive experiences, and they only come from past sales. And it's you can't obtain it any other way. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well done. And it just speaks to your service. Just speak, to get awards like that don't come from, sales numbers, sales volume, or whatever the case may be. It comes from actual people who've dealt with you and received your service.
yeah,
That that it's another example of proof of success, and just talks about how you're professional and how you can help your clients reach their goals too, and how appreciative they are. Because even when you help someone get a home or help anybody, period, for the most part, they don't always show their appreciation. Take the time to do stuff like that. So for your clients to feel, you know, to the point where let's actually do something to show how much we appreciate her, nominate her for these awards or
yeah,
whatever the case may be. That also speaks volumes to what you're doing and how you're making your clients happy.
for sure.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, I I know that Hawaii isn't just Americans or just the average American born citizen. There's people from all different types of countries, continents coming to these islands. So there's a melting pot of different cultures, languages, and ethnicity. So can you talk about maybe how you may have dealt with serving a client who may spoke a different language other than English or whatever, languages you don't speak or do speak, excuse me?
Absolutely. I mean, Hawaii truly encompasses a unique blend of people, yet we have a very
Mm-hmm.
strong sense of community. And it's not unlikely that we have foreign home buyers and home sellers. In fact, everybody wants to own their little slice of paradise. So it's very common here to have international homeowners. So, in these situations, I'm personally blessed within my company that we have quite a few advisors that are fluent in multiple other languages. And if a time comes, we have no problem partnering with them just so that our client can really stay informed and have a smooth transaction. I recently represented a seller, and he actually was a senior. He didn't speak much English at all, but he did have a caregiver on the island, and she ended up being our kind of translator throughout the whole entire transaction. Surprisingly, but I guess not surprisingly, it went really, really smooth. But the most important thing
Right.
was that we just took a little bit of extra time to dive into the details. We wanted to make sure that everything was truly understood. These are, big financial transactions, and it went really well.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Using those resources. It's good. It's good to have people on your team that can do that because other than that, to be honest with you, what would you do? There's nothing you can do with that client other than maybe pass them along to someone else who is from their cultural background or speaks their language. So to have someone who can be on your same team to make sure that you can still be involved with that transaction and still be able to, get through that language barrier. That opens the door for more people also, right? So if you're listing a home and you speak other languages or you have access to someone who speaks multiple languages of people within that community, you can speak to those potential buyers also rather than just the English speaking clients or potential buyers. So that's not an original thought. I literally just went over that with another guest, but they literally opened my eyes to how valuable it is to know another language, especially in a market like Hawaii,
Yeah, you have to have a
or to know someone who does.
For sure, for sure. I think you have to have a can-do attitude really with everything, and that's when it comes to really utilizing a network of people. There where there's a will, there's a way, and we can get it
Mm-hmm.
done.
Correct. You also mentioned that that client was a senior
Yes,
also, and I know that you have your certificate as a senior real estate
I
specialist.
do.
Whole different skill than just helping the average middle-aged adult homeowner or buyer. So can you talk about the difference in your approach when you are helping a senior client as opposed to a middle-aged adult?
Absolutely. Kevin, I love our senior community. I'm especially blessed because my brokerage firm, in particularly England Volkers Honolulu, the owner of our company has taken a lot of time over the years, care, attention, and education to our senior community. In fact, a couple of years ago, we even held a senior prom, and we ended up naming a senior
Wow.
king and a senior queen, two seniors who had a substantial impact in our community. I think, when you're
That's what's
helping
up.
seniors, you have to come to the realization that a lot of the homes, especially on the selling side, these are generational homes. These homes have been in the family
Mm-hmm.
for decades. And sometimes these individuals are selling, for other reasons, like they need care or things like this, and they aren't necessarily wanting to just get rid of the home. I think that when I work with seniors and anybody works with seniors, they need to understand that a lot of times the difference is that these types of transactions can be much more emotional. I recently had a listing with another senior. She had owned her home for 30 years and she was relocating from beautiful Hawaii to the state of California. And it was so that she could go live with a family member because she needed to be in their care. This was extremely emotionally for her because she loved her home and
Mm-hmm.
she had, 30 plus years of memories in this home. In a situation like that one, I took the time, to help her go through her things. I was running to donate a lot of her items to multiple different donation
Hmm.
areas across the island because you just don't want to throw somebody's life away. I wanted to help ease that transition for her, and care, patience, and understanding is really what makes it different.
Yes, yes, yeah. It's something that you don't necessarily think about unless you're in that
Yeah.
position or you know someone in that position.
Yeah.
So I am so happy that we have people who I'm happy that the real estate industry in general has certifications for things like this, because not everyone needs to be accommodated the exact same way.
For
Like
sure.
you said, we're, we're for the most part, if you're fortunate enough, we're all going to have loved ones in these positions too, so you want them to be taken care of. You want them to make all of these transactions through life as smoothly and easy as possible. So for you to go through that, make sure everything is easy, like you said, it's an emotional process too. So you're there not only as a real estate agent, but you're there also as somewhat a confidant, a friend,
Yes.
someone that they can kind of lean on in ways. So, man, I don't know. That just kind of, I'm not gonna say I teared up, but I just thought about that, and I'm happy that you do that. I really am. That is crazy. That is crazy. Well, so what made you want to do that? What made you want to get into the senior real estate special? Why?
I think that especially the company that I work for and, the person who heads our brokerage firm, the senior community is very important to her. I think that as you start to age, you start to think about things like estate planning.
Yep.
You think of,
Yep.
care, health facilities, aging in place, and your families and your legacy. This is something that maybe us or middle aged people don't think about yet, or maybe they do, but it's
Mm-hmm.
really kind of in your face when you are in your 80s plus and you are having to make these big life decisions. So for us,
Mm-hmm.
we have always put a focus as a company on educating the senior community. We would run free seminars for them and bring in estate planners, trust attorneys. We would bring in representatives from, the healthcare, senior healthcare like Arcadia and assisted living and things like this. It really helps them plan and, decide what's best for them so that we can help them in that direction. This is something that's really outside of our lane, right, in real estate, but we take that extra time so that when it does come time to make a decision about their home, they are well informed and educated to make the right one for
Right.
themselves.
Right. Oh my goodness. Uh, that's why I said that portion kind of gets to me, because it's also like so many people take advantage of the elderly or the seniors. I hate to hear about that.
Yeah.
So we need more people who are genuine with the older generation. That type of stuff breaks my heart. I don't even know why I'm thinking about that when I should be focused on the good people like yourself. So I just wanted to applaud you for that, Jessica,
Thank
because
you.
it needs to be done.
I
It
love
needs to
them.
be done. These are people loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just real quick, you mentioned something. I think this was off camera, but I want to talk about it on camera.
Okay.
In regards to investment properties in the state of Hawaii, you gave me some information that literally separates the state of Hawaii from the mainlands even more, right? Because you said there was something in regards to cash flow. When it comes to investors, that's not really a popular thing. And you also mentioned something in regards to property management. Can you give some more information on that for our audience?
Absolutely. I think the question you had asked me was cash flow versus appreciation. Which one would I pick? And I said
Mm-hmm.
appreciation, and that is particular to our state. So oftentimes when I'm having initial interviews with my clients, the first question is, what are your goals? What are your goals in a property? Is this going to be your primary residence or is this an investment
Mm-hmm.
property? Due to the prices of our rent, right? Um, it's harder sometimes to cash flow. It depends how much money you have down. It's very situational. But in Hawaii,
Mm.
we really are about that long term hold. Our state tends to appreciate kind of faster and a little bit more than a lot of other states on the mainland, whereas we may have less
Yep.
cash flow. Again, situation specific, but overall, I'm speaking generally. So I chose
Right.
appreciation because it's a great place to invest. Again, we have no more land to build on. So on the mainland, you might find that the house itself, which would be the improvement, is actually worth more than the land that the house is sitting on. in Hawaii, the land is worth way more than the improvement
Yeah.
100% of the time with a single family home. So that is why
Ooh.
I chose appreciation. And then the second part of your question regarding property managers, we do have a law within our state with investors. I think backtracking, the question that you asked me was self manage or property manager.
Property
And
management.
I chose situationally, it depends. If you are an off island investor, I would choose property management because you actually have to. You don't have to necessarily hire somebody licensed, but if you are not physically on the island and you plan to purchase an investment property on the island, you have to appoint somebody on island with the state that is able to kind of manage that rental property. They can be an auntie, an uncle, a friend. Again, they don't have to be licensed, but it cannot be you if you are off island. If I was on island and then, my investment properties, I would choose self-manage because I would save money on fees and I would be readily available should the tenants need anything.
Correct. Thank you for sharing that. Very important information that we discussed before we even hit record. Jessica was just dropping bars. I said we got to talk about this on the show.
Sure.
So I think that's important for people who may think, oh, the cost of living in Hawaii is high, rents are high. I'll go there, buy property, and just fly. I'll come back here and just collect the rent. Yeah, but you're going to have to give a large portion of that cash flow to the property management because, like you said, according to Hawaii law, you have to be on the island if you're going to self-manage. Other than that, you have to have someone there to actually manage that property. So
And
thank you for putting that out there.
yeah, and I guess I'll add to that too, because we didn't even talk about this before, but you just kind of led me into this flow. A lot of the calls that we get, they want to Airbnb the houses. I don't know if you've kind of gotten into this topic, but we actually have a state law, Bill 41, if anyone wants to look it up, but it is now illegal to have any type of transient accommodation, short-term rental, or Airbnb, VVRO in residential neighborhoods. So that you can do short-term rentals in resort zoning, but most oftentimes than not, it's a different type of product. More condotels, they kind of run and operate like hotels, but they're they're individually owned in an essence. But some of them don't have full kitchens, they don't have parking. They're truly meant for transient accommodations. So when it does come to investing, and a lot of people have great success with Airbnbs, around the mainland, and they come here, we do talk about the equity and appreciation in the different types of property products, condotel versus that residential. But should they do residential, we are now looking for a longer term tenant, 90 days or more.
Nice. Great. Thank you for adding that. Thank you. Airbnbs are a very popular thing. So I can see someone looking to want to do something like that. A lot of people are going to Hawaii just for visiting, vacation. So they will need that place to stay in. You would think an Airbnb would be a great investment until you know about those intricacies that you just explained.
Yes.
Thank you. Because that's going to save some lives out there. That's going to save some lives.
Yeah.
As the matriarch of your family, military wife, you know what it takes to hold down the fort,
Yes.
to turn a house into a home. Talk about your experience on helping someone or helping a family turn a house into a home, maybe either sight unseen, they're not there physically, or maybe the family's there and maybe the person in the military hasn't arrived yet, or some situation, any situation similar to that you experienced.
Sure. Many experiences. This is very common. So I think on our island, when a military member is PCSing, which PCS stands for Permanent Change in Station, they are coming to the island. Sometimes they have never even visited before. And more oftentimes than not, they're coming with pets. They may be coming with young children, and they want to secure property before their arrival to ease that transition for them, and really understandably so. In these instances, you've got to take the time. It's critical to educate on different neighborhoods, find out about lifestyle, commute times. Are your children going to be needing enrolled in a school district? Do you have pets? Hawaii has state policies that have to be implemented in order for your pets to avoid quarantine. These are all conversations
Oh.
that I tend to have upfront and in great detail with my clients that are PCSing here. Oftentimes, it is not uncommon that we will get into escrow and the spouse may get deployed the next week. You know, they could be unreachable. In fact, I can, from personal experience, say my husband is one of those people. We went into escrow on our house. He went down on the submarine and he was gone the entire transaction. So, in these situations, we need to get the proper power of attorneys set up, which do need to be property
Mm,
specific. So, we get those set up ahead of
mm,
time. I also like to talk about different challenges that may potentially arise. You know, we do best case, worst case scenario, but since they're kind of out of the loop while they're gone or maybe it's important to kind of set expectations and discuss those processes so we can really have a successful ending.
what man? That was great. That was great information. I didn't think about that whatsoever. If you're not part of that community, you wouldn't even think of it. But the situations that could occur, I mean, that one for an example is it's just crazy. Like they're there for the whole time, and then all of a sudden he has to go for his Call of Duty, or he or she has to go for their Call of Duty, and then you're just out, pretty much just finishing the transaction on your own. But then, like we just said, it's your job to go in there and turn that house into a home. By the time your military member comes back, you want them to come and actually feel like they are home, and that's a very very big responsibility, nonetheless. So finding the right home, finding any and all resources that they need for the home, and just getting them accommodated. Very, very important job. And I know it happens, like you said, more times than none. Being in a Hawaii state where there's military bases,
Yeah.
so I know you deal with that very
I mean,
frequently.
I recently had a client and she was actually on her way via ship with limited connectivity, wanting to have the home secured before her arrival. And she had a pit bull, you know, so sometimes we have breed restrictions and weight restrictions. And so
Yeah.
we were able to like identify that property before she got on the ship. But the entire transaction, I was actually communicating with her sister who lived in the state of Florida, you know, 6 hours ahead. But this girl who was my client, she actually had never been here. She didn't know the neighborhoods. So you know, I got a little nervous because I'm like, okay, I need to be really detailed because she's going to arrive here and there's no, you know, opportunity to really
Yep.
back out because the sister's just going along with the process. So I'm walking the grounds. I'm like in the neighborhood, waving at people, seeing how they respond. You know, everything's on camera. This is where you would walk your dog. Going to the grocery store. Do you like this? You know, just so that when she comes,
Mhm.
her experience was a positive one.
Good, good, good. Yeah, I know that's a lot of responsibility. It's probably a lot of pressure on you to make sure it's right. I mean, you're literally almost not making a decision, but you're guiding someone into their residence,
Yeah.
somewhere that they want to be comfortable and call home. So you want to make sure everything is aligned. So we have no buyer's remorse or none of that coming back to us. So I
Absolutely.
get it. I get it. Beautiful, beautiful. This is where I want you to take the time to kind of inspire us or motivate us in some way. Is there a movie, book, quote, or philosophy that you live by that maybe helped shape your life professionally or personally that you could share with us?
You know, off the top of my head, I don't even know where I heard this, but it has stuck with me for well over a decade. Um, and that would be your thoughts create your reality. And I think that that saying really speaks for itself, but sometimes we just need to slow down and think about what we're thinking about. And I think that all success really starts within the mind. And if you can get your mind and your thoughts in that right place, the rest will follow.
I agree. I agree that you are always going to be your biggest obstacle. I don't care what nobody says. Like, you have to get past yourself first before you get past anybody else. Anybody else's thoughts, opinions. Like, yeah, someone can say something and influence you or maybe put some type of
Yeah.
roadblock, but you technically accept that and put that roadblock there yourself. So you are your biggest obstacle. I love
Yeah.
that you said that. I love this part because anything that I get, any response that I usually get, I feel like it's always talking to me personally. And if I feel like it's talking to me, I feel like it's definitely talking to our audience. Everyone can relate to that.
Yeah.
So, perfect place. No, you have more to add?
No, I completely agree with you. It speaks to me too. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. Perfect place to land the plane, Jessica. Thank you so much. So much for pulling up a chair to the closing table. We appreciate it. If you have any last words or want to tell people how to reach out to you, the floor is yours.
sure. I mean, I love to help anyone who wants help, even if it's just a consultation or a phone call to see how we can get you there in 10 years. I'm always available. I can drop my phone number or email in the comments. But yeah, reach out anytime. My Ohana is your Ohana. And thank you so much for having me, Kevin.
Absolutely. Thank you again. We appreciate it. For our YouTube audience watching right now, if you made it to this point, do us both a favor and hit the like button, subscribe, and share the content. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, give us a 5-star rating, and subscribe for our latest content. Hey, Jessica, I'd like to leave our audience with a question on the way out. So, this is for you, audience. I just want to know, whenever you are moving, what is something that needs to be done for that house to officially be made your home? Everyone has their own different thing. Don't tell me now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, I'll talk to you next time.